Περνάμε τώρα στο επόμενο μας θέμα, το οποίο μας έρχεται από το κεντρικό Λονδίνο. Στις 21 Μαρτίου πραγματοποιήθηκε στο χρηματιστήριο Λονδίνου το 6ο London Business Summit του Economist με τίτλο «Ηνωμένο Βασίλειο Ελλάδα Κύπρος, μετακινώντας το εμπόριο και τις επενδύσεις στο επόμενο επίπεδο». Σε αυτό το μεγάλο συνέδριο έλαβαν μέρος προσωπικότητες από την Ελλάδα και την Κύπρο. Στο βίντεο που ακολουθεί θα παρακολουθήσετε 3 ομιλίες. Αρχικά την ομιλία του Έλληνα πρέσβη στο Ηνωμένο Βασίλειο, κυρίου Ιωάννη Ραπτάκη. Στη συνέχεια ακολουθεί η ομιλία του ύπατου αρμοστή της Κυπριακής Δημοκρατίας, κυρίου Ανδρέα Κακουρή, ενώ αμέσως μετά η ομιλία του προέδρου του δημοκρατικού συναγερμού, κυρίου Αβέρωφ Νεοφύτου, ο οποίος είναι και υποψήφιος πρόεδρος στις επερχόμενες εκλογές για την Κυπριακή Δημοκρατία. Ας παρακολουθήσουμε τους 3 ομιλητές.
We remain committed, both as a country, as the Greek Embassy in London, to exploiting every opportunity to promote our relations with the United Kingdom. Brexit has definitely been a game changer in our relations. The impact on trade is already visible. The decrease in UK's commercial exchanges with the EU countries, including Greece of course, and a shift of British trade towards third countries is a fact. The persistent EU-UK dispute over the Northern Ireland Protocol and any other disruption regarding the relationship between the EU and the UK will possibly spill over to what we can do bilaterally. Brexit has indeed made it harder for British companies to trade and do business in Greece or any other European country. A difficulty that we strive to overcome within the competencies of national policy and through bilateral cooperation with the United Kingdom. The recent signing of the Strategic Framework Agreement last October by the Foreign Minister, Mr. Dendias, and the visit last November of Prime Minister Mitsotakis to London and his meeting with his counterpart Boris Johnson have created a new momentum in our bilateral cooperation, especially the Prime Minister's visit and his address that followed to British investors during the Confederation of British Industries annual conference has created a very positive dynamic for the Greece-UK relationship. With a strong post-pandemic GDP growth of 8.3%, British investors now think of Greece in terms of what we can do in the future. As Greece's credibility amongst the rating agencies has improved, and Greece has been a strong and respected voice at the heart of the European Union. There is therefore no doubt that the bilateral relationship has a huge potential, especially in areas of foreign investment. We have seen strong record of inflows of foreign direct investment in Greece during the pandemic, with net inflows reaching 5.1 billion euros in 2021, almost at 3% of GDP. Greece is becoming an increasingly attractive business destination, as shown by the sheer number of success stories of global investors investing in Greece over the last period of time, the most recent being JP Morgan, Microsoft, Pfizer, Tesla, Cisco, TeamViewer, just to name a few. Key sectors to attract British investments include green energy and especially offshore wind farms, an area where the UK is a leader. New generation of infrastructure such as fiber optics connectivity, the sector of technology innovation and startups, logistics, but also real estate, just to name a few again. Moreover, there is significant funds available from the EU Recovery and Resilience Fund, which can also be a driver for attracting FDI from the UK. Last but not least, with more science and engineering graduates than the OECD average, as well as widespread language skills, Greece offers a rich pool of talent and highly skilled workforce to potential investors. Our aim is to attract not only investments, but also people from the UK to Greece by promoting the incentives offered to Britons who want to live in Greece, as well as Greek talented professionals who work and thrive in the UK and want to return home. COVID, in a sense, helped us because the pandemic made it clear that you can work from anywhere. And Greece is a very competitive destination. Be it the digital nomads, the visa scheme that we have established, or tax incentives for retirees, there is a large pool of people in the UK that would be interested in transferring their economic residency in Greece. The UK is traditionally among the three most important markets for the Greek tourist product, with 3.5 million Britons visiting Greece each year. We now offer a more sustainable tourist product and have made Greece a more attractive destination all year round. Greece is not only a destination for summer holidays, which is how it was known. It is a destination for investment, a destination for full-time employment, a destination for retirees, a multifaceted and dynamic destination both for business and for quality of life. There is therefore ample room for cooperation both on a government-to-government level and between the Greek and British private sectors, to overcome the challenges and fully exploit the opportunities in order to build forward better with the UK, in the recent words that Prime Minister Mitsotakis used during the CBI conference. Today's event, organised for the first time after the pandemic, is an excellent opportunity, I think, to do this, and I have to give all my best wishes for a successful and fruitful conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Good morning to all. Mr. President, Minister, my friend and colleague, Ambassador Raptakis. It's a great pleasure for me to be with you live this morning after the forced hiatus that the pandemic imposed on all of us, and I'd like to thank the organisers for their kind invitation, allowing me to offer some brief opening remarks at this timely event, which has once again brought together an A-team of speakers to offer their thoughts and perspectives on the theme of this 6th London Business Summit, and I thank them for being present here today. This conference comes at what I would say is a consequential moment in time. In fact, I do not believe it is hyperbole to say that we are at an inflection point. As Europe begins to emerge from the serious impact and consequences of the pandemic after 2 years, it now faces a war with catastrophic repercussions across the continent and possibly the world. Of course, I'm referring to the invasion of Ukraine, which the government has been unequivocal in its position against the military invasion and the independence, sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Ukraine, and stands in clear solidarity with the Ukraine and its people. And if there is one country where what has taken place in the Ukraine resonates strongly, it is Cyprus, itself a victim of an illegal invasion, ongoing military occupation by Turkey for nearly half a century. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the world economy has suffered the multiple consequences of COVID, and we're already witnessing the more than just ripple effects of today's conflict. This, of course, makes it particularly difficult to predict. Cognizant of this and the projected uncertainty on the global stage, I think we can so far say that Cyprus has been on a solid growth path as one of the fastest growing Eurozone economies with a 5.7% growth rate in 2021 and strong fiscal performance, as well as new large-scale projects in traditional as well as emerging sectors. The island has shown itself to have a resilient economy that has time and again proven its agility and capacity to adjust to continuously changing conditions and bounce back from external shocks, including the 2013 banking crisis. That is why Cyprus has, in a few decades, focused much effort in establishing itself also as an international centre, inter alia for shipping, financial services and commerce. And similarly, Cyprus has evolved as a jurisdiction of strategic importance for Europe, Asia, the Middle East, Africa and beyond. In the United States, one often hears the phrase location, location, location. And I think we can all agree that Cyprus fits the bill. Whether it is from the perspective of being a purveyor of stability in the volatile region, or as a business partner in a dynamic regional cooperation environment, Cyprus has a value added that is gaining increasing recognition and interest. In this context, the trilateral cooperation mechanisms that have been established jointly with Greece since 2014 are at the heart of Cyprus's initiatives in the region, and I believe constitute the potential to serve as a model of regional cooperation. And so far, trilateral cooperation mechanisms have been established with our immediate neighbours, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, the Palestinians, in order to define and discuss issues of common interest. The trilaterals have also gained interest further afield with the United Arab Emirates and Armenia, and have gained the engagement and support of the United States in the field of energy security through the trilateral with Israel. Just to focus for a brief second, they focus on a wide range of sectors, including energy, tourism, diaspora, the environment, innovation and research, investments, SMEs, startups, education, and the protection of cultural heritage, to name a few. This is a constantly evolving and flexible process, and not a one-size-fits-all, and provides new opportunities and possibilities for expansion and growth. On a parallel path, the UK-Cyprus collaboration is a great example of strong bilateral relations, reflecting the two countries' long historic ties, including what is today a highly integrated and robust Cypriot diaspora in the UK and a sizable expat community in Cyprus. And as we know, the United Kingdom has consistently ranked first in the number of tourist arrivals to Cyprus and remains a firm favourite for undergraduate and postgraduate students. The UK is one of our closest and long-standing partners. Together we have developed and nurtured close links in the political, defence, economic, education and cultural fields. We're both members of the Commonwealth, and the UK has been one of the biggest trading partners to Cyprus, not just in goods, but also in services and foreign direct investment, mainly in the financial, insurance, real estate, scientific and technical fields. Following Brexit, understandably, there have been numerous challenges, but we continue to cooperate closely, both within the framework of the Trade and Cooperation Agreement and bilaterally, as appropriate. Opportunities to build partnerships and business ventures are always possible in an ever-changing and highly interconnected global landscape, and I firmly believe that the potential exists in volumes in the growing Cyprus-UK relations. Actually, there is no better proof that our world today needs vision, synergies and commitment to promoting peace, stability, development and tackling global challenges such as global warming and climate change. And the Eastern Mediterranean arguably has this potential. Cyprus, at the heart of the region, can truly fulfill its own potential as a beacon of stability and centre for development and innovation, open for cooperation and business with all like-minded countries and those further afield. In ending, I'd like to again thank the organisers for their tremendous efforts to make this event possible, and the Cyprus High Commission remains at your disposal in any way that we may be of assistance. Thank you very much.
Things have been difficult for all of us in the past 2 years. The pandemic came to challenge our ordinary way of living and things we took for granted for years. At the same time, Europe is currently facing one of the most difficult times in its recent history. Times that call upon to show unity, courage, and to place our common values above all, without considering temporary costs. We all condemn the Russian invasion in Ukraine in the strongest possible terms. Russia's invasion is more than an attack on Ukraine. It is an attack on every free country's right to decide its own future. Unfortunately, as Cypriots, we know firsthand what war and being refugees means. And we are experiencing the tragic consequences of war for almost the last 50 years, the illegal occupation by Turkey until today. As Cyprus, though, is in line with the West and shows its solidarity to the Ukrainian people, the West and Europe should also follow the same values and principles and not use double standards in its treatment of the Cyprus issue. Values should be placed above all and should never be discounted. Another point that the current situation has highlighted, and I would like to stress, is the importance of energy and the energy security of Europe, which is also under threat and needs to be addressed. Energy is not only a factor for the economy, it's the real factor for security and stability in Europe. Dear friends, in the years before the pandemic, with hard work and decisiveness, Cyprus had managed to fully reverse recession and fiscal deficits. We are used to big challenges and big crises in Cyprus. And the crisis in 2013, the banking crisis and the fiscal crisis, was an opportunity for Cyprus to make radical reforms for the stability of the economy. Our economy enjoyed continuous upgrades by the international rating agencies, and our country's credibility had been regained again. Once more, Cyprus reversed the effects of another crisis, the time of the COVID-19 pandemic. And we are in the right way due to the resilience for our policies. Economic activity in Cyprus had a recession of 5.1%, much below the average of the European Union. And at the same time, in 2021, the growth of our economy was 6%, much higher than the average in Eurozone and in Europe. And we project in 2022 to have a strong growth as well, despite the negative impact on the Cypriot economy because of the war in Ukraine. But this is not the time to be satisfied, though. This is the time to continue further with all the necessary reforms for a truly modern and friendly state for our citizens and the business sector. And I'm more than sure that we will get there. We have recently proceeded with a great number of important reforms, such as the reforms of the local government. We should continue on this path with emphasis on reforming the public sector, the justice system, and the digitalization of our country for the benefit of our citizens and the business environment. I heard the High Commissioner of Cyprus to the UK mentioning what we studied in the 80s, the universities, location. I can tell that it's a time to talk about technology. In America, they have the Silicon Valley. We have a vision for Cyprus to become the tech island of Europe, and we implement certain policies, and we believe that we can host the tech companies and Cyprus to be, for the next decade, the tech island of Europe. Also, our strategic objective remains to continue the macroeconomic, fiscal and financial stability of our countries. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once more for the opportunity to be here, and I'm looking forward to a lively discussion. But before we go, we are in London, and I want to share with you the feelings of the Cypriots. The Cypriots, they don't like much the British. Because of the history. But at the same time, every Cypriot would like to spend a weekend in London if they can afford it. At the same time, every family has the top priority to send their children to study in UK if they can afford it. And thirdly, every summer, the hoteliers and the catering industry are waiting the British to come. Thank you.